Hey, everyone, and welcome back to Innovation Unplugged, where we spotlight the visionaries and the luminaries reshaping the enterprise and technology. I'm Jim Brismitzis, and today I'm joined by a very close friend of mine, Caroline Chan, who was as part of Intel and part of our advisory board at the lab going back now since 2019, so a very long time. Caroline has been a driving force behind Intel's vision of networking and edge and played a critical role in the telecommunications industry but now is leading a lot of the industry conversations around edge and the convergence of AI and connectivity, from enabling smarter factories and cities to building the foundation for next generation applications. Caroline's work is reshaping how industries deploy and scale innovation at the edge. We are excited about where AI, 5G, and edge is meeting the enterprise, and this conversation today is definitely for you. Caroline, thank you again for spending time with us. I know you're a busy person, crisscrossing the world and attending many different forums, and so we appreciate you spending time with us today.
Well, thank you for hosting me. The fact that you mentioned 2019, I was just like having my moment. Oh my God.
It's been that long.
It's been that long.
Who's this Jim guy, and what's he doing in the 5G Open Innovation Lab? I can't say how sincerely thankful I am for you making that bet on us, because now since we've had 146 teams, we just selected our 12th batch. 3.4 billion in venture capital raised. The Keen platform as private edge and private 5G has been launched. I mean, we just accomplished a lot. Thank you again to your support and leadership. We really appreciate it.
We Caroline, need somebody like you. The ecosystem needs 5G Open Innovation Lab, needs Chasm Lab in order to move us forward. I'm just so glad to be part of this.
Thank you, my friend. Well, on that note, I think you and I shared a common vision that 5G was going to be a transformation for the telecom industry, right? It wasn't just another standard, but really it was an opportunity for the carriers to think differently about their network as an asset, more as a platform. It was also an opportunity for edge, but edge was rather nascent at that time. I think AI has really brought edge into where edge is today. And you were driving a lot of the technologies and the investments from Intel in that world. Now, if you fast forward to where we are today in 2025, man, has the industry changed. Where I wanted to start with you, Caroline, is given how well plugged in you are in the global telecom ecosystem, I'd love to get your thoughts around that transition into 5G, where some countries and maybe some operators got really right, and where you think this is going to actually go in terms of connectivity, AI, and edge in the 6G standards and beyond. I know that's a bit of a weighted question, but you've got lots of insights there to share with us.
You asked a really a weighted question. And also, Jim, remember when we were starting this, you and I both believe that 5G is going to transform how enterprise, we view that as one of the edge and enable the telco to do more than just the SIM card, to do way more than that, to actually help transform the industry. Boy, when we roll and ride in the boat, I did not anticipate how fast AI has taken over the edge. I happen to serve on a board of a manufacturing company here in the United States. During COVID, we were having a heck of a time retaining trained workers in the factory. When we talk about manufacturing jobs here in the United States, this is critical path that we have. And at the time when I joined the board during the COVID, we advocated to really bringing the connectivity into our factories, bringing the edge, smart edge at the time, or smarter edge. And it is going forward. Now, we all recognize the partner that we work with happen to be one of the hyperscalers and one of the forefront in AI in the United States is really helping us to give us a mid-sized manufacturing company the same tool that some billion, trillion-dollar company has.
Yeah.
Really equalize the playing field.
Yes.
In a way that I could not even imagine. So the role that connectivity is play is deeper into the enterprises. I'm not saying it's smooth. I'm saying we can see the path forward, and the result, as we can see from the Asian countries, let's just say China as an example. where the government has taken initiative, has granted the spectrum, has given a lot of leeways in experimental licenses, for example. We've seen one of the deepest seaport in China, Tianjin, is now running without human. There
Yep.
was a video going around with a dark factory, completely automated. No one works there. So it has no light, no heat, no air conditioning, runs 24/7. Obviously, those are extreme pushing the edge, pushing the envelope. But as we look at, if we want to make United States, Western Europe, and so on, to be as advanced in manufacturing without the kind of cost, the capital investment that you're putting, this is one of the paths forward. And I believe it. I'm seeing it now in the partners I'm working with. I'm seeing now in the enterprises I work with, and even on the company that I'm on the board with. It is truly transforming how we think the future of manufacturing in the Western world could be.
Yeah.
It is the work that you have done, the work that I've helped supported, is really started materializing. The connectivity piece, pushing that to the edge, adding the edge AI, the applications aspect. Remember during COVID, we were doing the robots in a
Yep.
farm in Washington State.
Yep.
That is now coming. I'm seeing robots picking mushrooms. See, you go to our manufacturing plant, it's AGVs, it's robots carrying loads around, even soldering our battery caps, things like that. I could not have imagined.
Yeah, and so Caroline, you touched on something that I want to just noodle in on just for a moment, which is, in many respects, and congratulations to the Chinese, they've done a really good job on the 5G front, not just from an adoption, for consumer mobility, but as you said, they were very much in the experimental range, and it wasn't for the sake of just connectivity, right? It was in service to robotics, automation, and all these other capabilities, AI, that they saw 5G as a critical enabling technology for. Whereas in some Western countries, maybe not so much, right? I think many enterprises and even in the telcos arguably kind of saw it as, faster speeds and perhaps more services for consumer, but not necessarily enterprise side. That's not the case today. We're seeing, I think you and I would agree on this, more interest from enterprises in the Western world around the use of private cellular in their factories and in the distribution yards and ports and all the other fun stuff. So we're kind of coming around. But is it a fair statement to say that China saw 5G as a critical enabling technology, and as a result has created a really good lead in terms of that use and other uses of technology, robotics, automation, and such to transform their industry, right?
Yep, I would say so. From what I have seen from the ecosystem, from the partners I work with, it definitely seems that way. It's all the way from the top down in terms of spectrum availability, willingness to take risk, regulatory and government support. It seems that way. One other example, they are now just issuing new spectrums for drones. So think about the way that our cell site is today. It always looking down because for phones and consumer devices, and they have a new class of base stations looking up for drones. So the way that the drones is much more widely used in China, for example. So
Yeah.
they actually need a way like you think about how FAA regulate the takeoff and landing of airplanes. They gonna start doing that for drones. Now, what does that do? It create a new segment of economy
Yeah.
for the telcos, for the innovators, and for software developers, and it allowed them to experiment on what drones can do to deliver medicine and food and it's maybe probably things we haven't even thought about.
Right.
And then, of course, as 3GPP, 6G is now integrating sensing and that thing into the standards, into 6G. So that is another area of innovation that they are the government there is encouraging to do too. So we'll get there because I really truly believe that many enterprises start seeing the benefits. But because our market-driven economy, we still needed to answer to the Wall Street, answer shareholders.
Right.
So the
Right.
more we can do as a ecosystem, Intel included, many OEMs, many software applications, and Chasm Lab is playing a significant role with the batches that we have. I just saw the latest batch. I'm truly excited about batch Tom, by the way. I'm very excited. I'll talk to you after about this too.
Yeah.
The things we're doing is to make this, the blueprint much more diverse in terms of serving different verticals, dealing with multiple different industries, and also welcoming software developers to come into our fold. You don't necessarily have to be an RF engineer to be part of telco anymore. So I think that is a really good front that we opened for our industry.
Right. One of the many areas that I enjoy and appreciate about our conversations, my friend, is you have a very good view of where telecom is via these various markets. And not all telecoms are the same, right? There's a density of telecoms in Europe that are very competitive, right? And there's 2 to 3 per country, lots of countries. Asia is well ahead in terms of the adoption of 5G, but even more so exploring edge and AI capabilities. Here in North America, we're doing other things as well. If you were to surmise what we did right at a global level from a 5G perspective, where do you think we're going in 6G, and how different can 6G be for the carriers? What didn't they accomplish in 5G that you think maybe 6G sets them up better for?
I think in 5G we will still over-index on the consumer side because that's a history that we all grow in, right?
Right. Yeah.
What I think at this juncture, seeing what AI has done to the cloud, to enterprises on its own, and I think now incorporating AI native in 6G, including all the sensing capabilities that the network does have, it will propel us into a much more seamless integration with enterprises. One thing that I was, you and I talk offline about this. One thing I'm still a little uncomfortable is that how well the telco integrate with not just the IT, but more importantly, OT. At the end of the day, whoever adopts this, runs this, whether it's a retail shop, hospital, manufacturing plant, smart city, you still have to deal with the OT side, the operator side of who probably don't even care what the underlying RF technology is. It's a Wi-Fi, it's a Bluetooth, if it's 4G, 5G, 6G, they don't care. At the end of the day, what you and I talk about at day one of doing 5G open innovation, like solving a business problem.
Correct.
Is it a business problem a security issue? Is it a business problem a supply chain resiliency that we are really dealing with now? Is all about solving business problems. I think we're getting a lot better.
Yeah.
We're learning.
Yep.
we stumbled in the past, but I think we're getting better. Especially, I see many times the system integrator, global system integrator, as well as the the vertical based, very vertical focused system integrator really coming up to speed. I think that part I'm truly excited about. I feel like we in the past we just say this is the best 5G box you could buy. That was good, but it's not enough. We incorporate in IT, we bring the CIO along, we bring the manufacturing plant managers along, and our system integrator partners are really coming up to speed and bringing it together. And the work that we've all collectively done to bring different applications on it, it's really exciting. Like just the summer social that we've had.
Yep.
The partner day that you hosted, I'm listening there to all the conversation. I'm just like, oh my goodness. I could not imagine 2019. We could not imagine that was going to be the case.
I know, right? A lot has happened, and a lot is still is happening. I feel, to your point, you kind of made this point. We're kind of scratching the surface now, right? Now we see what's possible.
100%.
So one of the many areas that you and I agree on, I've always believed that the carrier's network is truly a platform. When ChatGPT broke on the stage in a general way, and people started to see the power of AI, from writing poems to writing code, um, the carriers kind of looked at AI in essentially one front primarily, and kind of overlooked another area. That one front that they did see was, wow, AI could be transformative for how we operate our networks autonomously, and how we manage power, and how we do all these really fun things. So that's great. I call that back office. Where I think they're overlooking the opportunity is more on the front office, using AI and the reach of their networks and the connectivity to the devices, and more importantly, the data those devices are generating and using. It presents an opportunity for the carriers to play a bigger role in AI beyond just an automated network. Is that a statement you agree, disagree with?
100% agree. So we always think about this as network for AI, AI for network. We need to do both. I think in history we think about, oh, let's use AI to optimize the network. That is the words we going on, as channel estimation, energy consumption, because that's what we know how to do. That's how most of us have a degree in engineering. That's
Yeah.
we naturally will pivot to that first, but we have to do a network for AI.
Yeah.
Like if you think about who knows someone's buying habits, where as a person is, how the enterprise is running, is a telco, because you know where everybody is. A lot of the data that's available in telco, if we find out how to work that in conjunction with these enterprises, the hyperscales, I think will create a new economy for telco that we could probably never imagine.
Yeah.
In the old days, we think about like, oh, there's the network is OSS, BSS, there's a RAN, there's a core network, but it's all coming together now.
Yes.
Because of the software nature, virtualized nature of the network, if we can just get that data and find a way to give that to our enterprises through connectivity and through relevant, low latency, high security ones, I think we can do a whole lot to really propel AI into every segment of our economy.
Right.
I truly believe it. I think that would be the bright spot of 6G.
And for the carriers, it's a whole new envelope of opportunity that, frankly, they've never been really part of. That software ecosystem, develop really cool, products and use cases on their network themselves. One of the learnings that I've had over the last now better parts of 6 years is I came from a world, as you remember, Caroline, out of Microsoft, right? Where, like Intel, it's a big partner ecosystem. If you don't operate with partners, you kind of feel like you're a fish out of water. When I came into the telco world, there was just a limited set of partners that most operators worked with, and they weren't really comfortable or worked with a broad set of ecosystem partners at scale. Um, in your mind, is that a true statement? And then, how important do you think partnerships and open ecosystems are to the carriers longer term to help them realize some of these opportunities in the future?
Really important. I also think that the operatives really have come a long way. Just look at all the announcement that's been made recently. I'm just talking about like 2025.
Yeah.
No, it pivot from a very 1 OEM to multiple, and everybody is. I think we are now as an industry really thinking of ourselves as a platform that can host many other vertical applications on it, and therefore you have to work with a very large ecosystem. You said it so well. Microsoft and Intel, both, we live and die by our ecosystem that we built. Intel as itself, we build a silicon platform, but everybody else has to come in and write their software on it to
Yes.
think all the from the Red Hats. I can't even name all of us because I'm gonna mess somebody. I'm gonna forget somebody
Yeah.
and get upset.
Right.
But it's all the way up and down the stack. We work with multiple people, so ecosystem development has traditionally been a very key part of our go-to-market, similar to Microsoft. I think telco is becoming that as we moving not just consumer but into enterprise space. You have to deal with everybody that can make this throughput
Yeah.
successful.
Yes.
So at the example I was sharing with you before our call was in the manufacturing environment, it's not that you just put in a 5G in the factory. You have to work with our CIO. You have to work with the the manager to make this a reality, and all the supply chain that's coming in. It's just a very different environment. So the initial is like fish out of water. What do you mean? I just gave you the best private 5G network you could have. That's not enough. No, it's not.
Yeah.
You're not going to scale based on that. But everybody's learning, and we're learning as a platform provider, and up and down the entire supply chain. I think we'll get there. I'm excited about 5G Advanced. I'm excited about 6G. Just looking ahead at what's happening. I when I wake up, I read what's happening in China from my WeChat accounts, and I'm reading, and I can see, oh, okay, so they are here. I know. I mean, we can't follow them because the economy is different. But the general direction is that they are much more embedded into different industrial segments, healthcare segments in their society.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna get there too.
Yep. I wholeheartedly agree with you, my friend. Last question is, there has been a lot of innovation in the world of 5G. You've come from a long line of the telecommunications industry and seen a lot. As you mentioned, 5G Advanced, 6G are exciting areas. What advice would you give to the carriers that could help them really set themselves up for success going forward?
Well, I don't know if I'm qualified to do that, but I've definitely had make enough mistakes
Yeah.
to say what not to do. I would say is that definitely reaching out to a wide variety of partners. And that's number one. We no longer just work with folks that just tune your RF and build your radio network. That is key, important part of the platform. But the NFV that we've done, the virtualized network function virtualization, really set us well as a platform, a software platform that with the best technology, the best hardware platform, and can we face it? We know RF, nobody else does. And now that we even had NTA to come in to help us, really, in terms of coverage, I don't think that's a problem. And now, really, is how do we harvest all the investment? Is to work with a wide varieties of ecosystem, make ourselves as software enabled as possible. So I have a lot of telco stock. I really hope that
Yeah.
just from a first
Please
perspective,
win.
that I made this work.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, on that note, I think this is probably a good time to wrap up. Thank you, Caroline, for spending the time that you have with us today. We enjoy it. I look forward to seeing you hopefully in Dallas next week. From what's refining the possible at the edge to enabling the infrastructure behind AI-powered innovation, Caroline's work is helping industries move faster, smarter, more securely. And as you've all heard, her insights from understanding and seeing the global telecom ecosystem really provides a rich perspective for the carriers, but also for industry and how important critical connectivity, now edge, and AI is to the tech stack in the future. And so with that, Caroline, thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast series if you haven't already. Review it, share it, drop us a comment so we can learn and improve. And so until next time, keep innovating and stay unplugged. And Caroline, thank you again for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.